Expo Park. This is my last round of 2023. Didn't quite expect it to be a snowy round. There's no snow where I live, and I played Bird's Nest yesterday, and there was no snow there. But I didn't really expect this. But it's the last day of 2023, so we got to get a round in, and hopefully it'll be a good one. Hopefully we'll end the year on a good note. I actually ended up breaking the PB at Bird's Nest kind of casually yesterday. So I haven't been playing a ton lately. I've been more working on my body, but we'll see. Hopefully this is a fairly scoreable course. Even in the snow, it should be pretty good, but let's see if we can have a good round, and I might compare it to my last round of last year, which was also a snow round because it was up in the mountains. All right. No T-signs out here. 264, straight ahead. Pretty simple starting hole there. Will be pretty cool once these two trees grow in. I am not really warmed up yet, and I want to try. I should probably throw a putter, but I just got this EMAC Truth. I've heard these are pretty stable. And this is slightly uphill. So since I haven't really warmed up yet, I'm gonna try to warm up on the fly today, which is probably a bad idea as cold as it is, but we're just gonna float the Truth up there. Maybe give it a soft ace run. Oh, wow, way stable. That is very stable. All right, well, all right, I want to see how that compares. This is a zone. We'll go 2 off the first since we're not warmed up here. This is my Ezra zone. I'll give this a little flatter, a little wider here. That looks better. All right, that's what more like what we meant to do. Whew. 2 off the first. YouTuber rule, right? I mean, the funny thing is, because I figure if we're going to be in a tournament, I'm always going to warm up a lot before tournaments. So I don't think it's that disingenuous to throw a couple off the first. But yeah, this should be an interesting test. At least it's a nice and sunny day. That's the good thing about Colorado. Even when it's cold or snowy, if it's sunny, it's usually like plenty fine to be out. I mean, it's only what, 40 degrees or so, but it honestly feels fine. Now this zone was actually kind of short. That's kind of surprising. Definitely, maybe, I don't know, maybe that marker on the tee pad is an old distance. Let's see if we can. I haven't warmed up my putt yet either. See if we can get a long one right off the bat here. Oh no. Oh well, that was a good run. Truth was actually a little deep, so maybe it's correct. I just might not have thrown that zone very hard or too low. The snow was very strange because you'd think cold it would get more skip, but more often than not, you actually just end up sitting more. It slows the disc way down unless you hit like an ice patch. Here we go. Expo. Hole 2, 240. I want to say 248 from there, 246. I can't read that. But got this kind of slightly downhill tee pad and a little scary of a water cutty. I took my Envy out. I wanted to try this mint lasso here. Yeah, ducks. Apparently they like the mint lasso. I heard it was kind of like the mint Envy, but this rim is a little flatter. I think this is probably like the tempo mold actually. So I think this is actually going to be more stable than an Envy. But it should be perfect. Normally I almost aced this in a tournament. I flex day, I bounced off the top of the pin out there with an NB. So let's just get a nice little clean throw out here to the left. Baby hyzer. This thing should hold it for sure. If it is the tempo mold, which I think it is. Get up. Woo, perfect. All right. Yeah, that thing is pretty stable. That was a little low, but I don't hate it. And the sidewalk plays OB here. So, I mean, it's a pretty big landing spot. I actually kind of pushed a little on the short side. A little scary there. All right. Oh, wow. My putt it was so good yesterday. These first two have not been very good. Yeah, that bird's nest. Oh, that's a birdie thrown away. But gotta make her putts. All right, now we go back across the bridge, and this is actually where 18 finishes. All right, X315, hole 3, kind of straightforward. Pretty good for like a flip up fairway, which I don't really have. OB on the left side sidewalk there, so you gotta watch your hyzer. Eventually, there'll be a nice little tree there in the hyzer line, kind of make a little backhand a little more challenging. I'm actually gonna test out my forehand today. Since I don't have a flippy fairway, could probably get a mid there, but I just wanna see, this is a good test. The forehand's pretty safe because it's gonna keep me away from the OB at worst. And this is a good test to see if I have this forehand distance yet. I feel like this is kind of the type of hole where eventually I'd like to at least be able to use a forehand on. Ooh, that's not terrible. All right, that's kind of way short. I probably should have gone backhand. I don't really have the fairway I want to throw. Actually, you know what? For funsies, I'm going to throw this Aztec on a flip up here. Oh, dude, see, there's the mistake. It doesn't flip up all the way, and that might be in the water. Good example of trying to power down, even though that's a flippy Aztec, you try to power down on it on the wrong distance of a hole, and it doesn't flip up all the way, and then you get kind of a more hyzer angle than you want. That's why, like, I think the forehand would be, for competitive use, if I could get it to this distance more consistently, it's definitely just safer. I just wanted to test this Raptor. They're way short. See, oh my gosh, even that forehand even felt good, and I'm like, I'm so far out. Not ready for prime time is the forehand. And I didn't really even warm it up yet either. But maybe we'll get a long putt. Oh, dang. I thought I hit that. That would have been pretty sweet. All right, kind of a slow start. This is definitely, like, if you ever want to be competitive out here, this is kind of a course you need to start quick. Very birdie or die course, and I think these first three are probably some of the more gettable ones. This is really should start with 2 or 3 of these first 3, but yeah, we'll keep going. Aztec didn't go in the water, so that's cool. Right on the edge. That was wild. The one kind of inevitable truth about getting old as we enter into 2024 here that I can't seem to escape is I really do need to warm up. And it doesn't seem to matter how good I feel. and how flexible I feel and stuff, it just does seem like my body takes a minute to kind of get going, to get moving. So definitely need to warm up. All right. All right, I just kind of recorded a monologue and apparently wasn't recording. Anyway, the DD1 is up here, pin high. Just faded on me a little bit. I got a little past it with the Faro. So I don't think this wasn't too bad. The whole monologue, I was just kind of expanding on that idea that like, man, you just really, it's something I have to accept that I need to warm up. And distance is just kind of being loose and flexible is probably more important than anything else in getting your timing on and getting your distance. All right, let's see if I can get my hips into this here. I haven't. Oh, I got it on the line and then I short it. Gosh, this is not turning out to be my day. We need to pick it up here. I mean, we're only 4 holes in, but this is kind of a bonus, but I'm at the point where this should be a pretty consistent birdie. I mean, I'm in circle 1 with not a perfect throw, so it's fine. I just got to hit putts. Okay, hole 5, 291. This one actually got a few trees in the way. Eventually we'll have another one here that'll make it a little bit more of a kind of a lower tunnel shot maybe in a few years, and then one up there kind of close to the basket. You'll have to kind of have a little bit more of a lane where you won't be able to like really easily pure hyzer it, whereas right now we can just kind of pure hyzer it. That EMAC Truth was pretty solidly stable on that early throw, so we'll go with we're gonna try it again. New discs out here. I literally just picked this up from a store from Fly Green. Shout out to Fly Green. All right, can we get a birdie today? Be nice. Okay, it's not that stable. Okay, that's I mean, it's a straight mid. It's not like overstable or anything. Yeah, it's interesting like how that Truth was finally the first drive that felt crisp, and of course it juiced. I needed that on the last drive. But yeah, that's the first one that kind of felt just like very crisp, like I was throwing yesterday. And again, like I said, usually about a third of the way through the course, my body just kind of gets to that rhythm point and that throwing point. It's just kind of, it's amazing because I threw so well yesterday with so little effort. I thought I would just come out here and tear this course up really easily. Yeah, it's a little snowy, a little wet, but at the same time, it's just amazing like how your body can kind of differ day to day and how you need to take care of it if you want to kind of be consistent and be competitive. Take for granted a little bit. And obviously that gets a little exaggerated as the years creep on. Man, we went deep, so yeah, see, this would have gotten to that 315 hole. I probably could have thrown it. Wish I would have probably should have tried it. Didn't realize it was that straight. It felt kind of stable. I think I just threw it really badly the first hole. Let's see if my putt has warmed up as much as my drive here. Oh gosh, it was right on line. I'm just not getting them in the basket. Oh, yeah, we are. That is And about as slow of a start as we can have out here. All right, hole 6, 333. Just kind of straight ahead out behind that tree, downslope right into the little stream there, and then OB sidewalk right. So have to be kind of careful with your big hyzer. Need something to push kind of straight with just a very mild finish at the end. Yeah, I was talking about how reliable yesterday that a good 7-speed is. And I had to jog back to the car because I realized I didn't have it. Slipped out of the bag in the car. All right, we got Halo Exodus. Should be perfect for this kind of hot. It should be straight enough. It's pretty stable, but it's not like super beefy at the end of the flight. So we want to go just kind of straight to the right of the tree and let the finish take care of it. Oh, I pulled it a little bit, but that's not bad. We get a decent flare. Oh, that was not a great shot. Yep. Not a great throw. And that should help me warm up even more, but I should probably rest a little bit before I step up and throw. That line of touch higher won't get anywhere. And I got like no flare on this wet, sticky, wet grass. Oh, this is a long putt. Man, I am not giving myself opportunities today. I'm just ain't it so far. Oh, yep. Just how it goes some days. One day you're playing PB, and the next day you're in Par City. Oh, I adjusted. All right, they're getting closer online, but not. Hole 7, 222. This is what we gotta start getting. This is kind of a must get. A little downhill. I mean, there's a little danger if you go long. But there's enough room, but it's probably 20 feet from the back edge of the pin, I imagine. This lasso has been pretty stable. Should be perfect for this. We'll just float it up kind of at that tree, just to the right of that tree. Try to make sure I get it flat because I know it's pretty stable. And just kind of get a nice smooth here. Nice smooth. Oh my gosh, it's stable. Wow. I mean, I might have hyzered that a little bit, but I keep throwing it like an envy, and it's not an envy. That is for sure. Oy, making us work for even the easy ones here. All right, well, we got to start somewhere. And I got the relatively non-def putt. So. Wow. Wow. Gee whiz. All right, we crossed over the bridge to hole 8. And we are even par. And we're getting into 399, the long boy. This is actually 399, maybe even more. Plays kind of even harder since you're kind of going uphill a little bit. This one feels way farther than the other one. We got OB way left high sidewalk. So there's definitely some protection if we kind of go hyzer, if we can get a big hyzer way out. But eventually there's going to be a line of trees, and often there will be a OB line in between the fairway here of 8 and 9, since we play 9 coming back. All right, we're gonna go to the faro, I think. Actually, I don't know, this faro's been so stable. I think I'm gonna stick with that DD1. I don't feel like I quite have the velocity that I had yesterday. Man, I was hucking yesterday. It's just wild that you can play that good one day and then play kind of this average the next. But that's probably why I'm rated the way I am, because I'm not that consistent yet. All right, that's pretty good. Get just in front of the tree. I think it's back beyond that tree a little bit, but cutting in front of that tree, as long as I have some forward push, should at least give us a decent putt. A little short, but a little safer than trying to swing around that tree. Okay, so I cut in front of the tree and landed right here, and that's still way short. Okay, I knew it was gonna be short, but I thought it was a little closer than that. Man, it's right in line with that back tree. I guess I could have tried to pull that a little harder, get a little more flex to it. See, I feel like I threw this pretty far. Like, I think this one might be a little longer. I don't know. I think some of these distances might have been for old pins that are on those tee pads. Oh, man, we just can't buy one today. I think if you were kind of prepping for competition, obviously you probably warm up a little more and try to work out kinks before you would get to the course, and start playing. So a lot of times you can kind of make up for that in your warm-ups and kind of adjust. All right, so this is kind of the new principle I was talking about, which if it's uneven ground, I want to straddle, and then I want to kind of use the straddle to kind of level myself out, which I don't think I did yesterday. I was kind of on a side hill, and I think I just straddled leaning down, whereas the whole point of me doing straddle on uneven ground is to kind of level myself out and get that kind of nice flat swing so I don't pull the disc sideways. That's a little bit more like it. Sometimes you just gotta tell yourself the little checklist steps, Hey, hole 9, 300 feet, right out there. Pretty straightforward, definitely slopes down left to right, so plays pretty good for forehand. And eventually you might have to kind of use a forehand or like a skip shot in this tunnel to the right after those trees grow. After my forehand on the previous hole was that short, but we can go back to it. Now that I have this Exodus, actually, I think it'll push a little straighter than that Raptor. I don't quite have the arm for that Raptor. I could also flip up a Claymore maybe. But, we're working on stuff today. Let's go with the forehand, see if I can't get the Exodus there. That's pretty good. That's gonna be short, but that should be an okay putt. That's pretty good for my forehand. So, like I said, the 315 is a little wishful thinking at the moment. Man, still way short. Decent though. This is a putt, but man, 300 though. I feel like I should get there. Hey, we got one. Let's go. Let's freaking go. I don't know where that phrase came from. I saw it a lot in video gaming, like video game streamers and stuff. And but it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it just came from that specific generation and it's kind of pervaded. And I think some people hate it, but I think it's kind of it's a nice, fun, safe expression that somehow I've picked up. All right, hole 10, cracked hole 10. 192, kind of straightforward here. This is kind of ace running because of the hill. The hill is a little bit far back though, so if you do ace run it, you are going to kind of leave yourself with a long putt if you do it too hard. But the hill is there to stop you, so you can't have too bad of a throw. 192, pretty short. So think that calls for the Berg X. Berg X Ace. Yeah, you can, if I had a little bit, if I had the proxy with me, man, flip up proxy straight at it would probably be the best play. But let's see if we can get the Berg X up here. Come on. Oh, dang. It was a decent run. It was a decent run. Little bit, that tree is just kind of right in the spot for kind of a high drifting hyzer. That's why I think the straight up flip up straight at it is a little bit better of a play. Kind of just keep it inside of that thing so there's no chance of hitting it. Let's see how close this was. Flash chains from my view, but sometimes you see that from the T-pad and you're like 30 short. Oh, that did not miss by a whole lot, I don't think. Dang, I don't think I missed by a whole lot. But yeah, you can see the hill is actually kind of, circle 2-ish. So if you throw it too hard, but use the hill's backstrop, I mean, obviously you still have a putt, but you're kind of making it harder on yourself than it needs to be. But I think soft bid, since you're kind of throwing uphill to begin with, the straight at it is not going to leave you with too bad, because if you're low enough, you're just not going to slide very far. If you're low, you're going to get the very bottom of that hill and stop. So I think that's the kind of the ace play. But we'll take a birdie. Got a couple rolling in a row. Took me the whole front 9 to get the first one. Maybe we can start rolling now, huh? Hole 11, I can't read that, 267. All right, kind of on the side hill the other way now. So I'm a little bit better for backhand throws, although your backhand line is kind of messy. Plays pretty good for a forehand, but if you can control the skip, but kind of dangerous for a forehand, I feel like. Especially with mine. That's probably right at the edge of my distance with the forehand, which is kind of funny. But this just screams backhand all day. And I'm going to go to this lasso. I'm going to give this lasso a good run here this time. I was a little surprised by its stability, but it should be pretty good. Put it right over that sign. I think this pin is either right even with that tree trunk or just behind it. If we can come across just in front of the tree, we might have a good shot at it here. It's a little wide, but all right, just a touch wider than I needed it to be, or could have had a little more height on it, but I think the distance was perfect. Oh yeah, actually went slightly deep. Okay, so yeah, that was pretty good. I almost got, hard to get a kind of an uphill skip though. That's trying to depend on an uphill skip is not the greatest idea. It's a little more of a hill here than it looked like from the tee pad. So I think you could go a little closer to it. Ooh, man, I kind of almost really, I do that every once in a while. You kind of like, you short it and you're like, like you have to give it that little extra, that little bit extra to get it in there. Whew. Man, on these short putts sometimes, I got to put the short ones a little bit more, with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more direct. Okay, now we're coming into my favorite hole in the course, because this was my first tournament ace last year. So interesting story. I had probably one of my best throwing days ever that day. It was a flex round, early last summer, I was just pinning so much stuff. I got this ace, and yet I only finished 7 down because I couldn't putt. So with the ace, I had a bogey. So besides the ace and the bogey, the other, I think, so that's another like 6 strokes down. I think all of them were probably drop-ins within like 10 feet. But overall, I think I was in circle 1 on every single hole except for one, the one I bogeyed. And I just like couldn't hit a 20-footer. I think I missed a 10-footer. So crazy that I was throwing that well. That's how bad my putt was. But this ace was, and I was pretty amped from the ace. I almost got the second one, the next one after it, which was wild. All right, so yeah, hole 12, here we are, 276, home of my first tournament ace. I just threw an instinct on a big spike hyzer, and it just went bam right into the heart of the cage, or the pin. I don't have the instinct, but I do have the Exodus. So should we try to recreate it? I think now, if I was going for it, I would probably throw like the Emac Truth, or maybe that Lasso or something, my Envy, if I had it, kind of out to the right side and just let it drift slowly in. I think it was an island too, so you had to get it on the island. But we'll go back to the spike, see if we can't make magic happen here. It's pretty good. It's not gonna ace, but park job. All right, no ace, but park job. So yeah, so that was just kind of how last year was. My putting was so bad and so inconsistent. And the weird thing is, like, I felt good. I used the winter when I was recovering from my surgery to practice. I thought I had a good, nice spin putt, but man, it was just so inconsistent. And mostly when I would play in tournaments, I would play with buddies and play fine. Occasionally I played pretty good in tags, but then I get any type of competition, I just couldn't hit it most of the time. And it's kind of been similar this year. It's been better. I improved it quite a bit, but it's still been probably my Achilles heel, as it continually lets me down in the worst moments. And I just kind of like, I don't know, I get these just a little bit of nerves, and it's just kind of mental, I think, because I feel like I've practiced it enough to have the muscle memory, although maybe not. Maybe you just need a few years of a consistent style. That's one bad thing, is I've changed it so much that I started, the muscle memory keeps changing. So I think maybe when you get into those moments where it's questionable, or you start to kind of lose your focus, then the muscle memory doesn't quite take over. And so that's kind of a dilemma of just got to pick. At some point I can do all the theory, but at some point you got to pick a style and just repeat it and get it consistent. So hopefully I'm really close to doing that. I think I've finally found a motion and a style that it's getting there. It's getting honed in. So hopefully it'll go away. And then I think that'll help take away those moments when you kind of don't quite have the feel and kind of second guess. So, all right, we're rolling. Let's keep going. 13, 354. Man, we could actually do an ice skip. I think I saw a Bonanza play out here and do an ice skip. I might try one for funsies here, but right out there, man, this is a tough, scary hole if you are, when the water is there, because you got to really kind of place it just right. Man, I got that ace, and you always hear about the stories about the bogey following the ace, and I was like, man, I'm not letting that happen. And I was kind of amped, but I was juiced, and I threw it right at this thing, and it was like, whew, I damn near aced this one. and had kind of a long putt and kind of missed the putt coming back, but took the par and did the same thing on the next one. So I didn't let the ace get to me too much, the amping. I was like I said, I was just one of those days I was throwing so good. All right, I'm gonna go this Halo Aztec. This thing's pretty stable. Should be nice for a kind of nice, good, smooth 80% flat. Let it kind of drift out there. This is a cool hole. I like this hole. It's pretty good. That's safe. Oh, short. Wow. That thing is so stable. I mean, I think that would have been safe even if it was wet. I think I would have hit the shore, maybe. Gosh, I didn't really get any distance. I'm not really throwing nearly as far today as I was yesterday. All right, I'm gonna go with that ESP Raptor, and we're gonna go for the ice skip, the dangerous ice skip here for funsies. Skip ace. Oh, I like the line. Pew, pew. Oh, too low, but that was kind of awesome. Oh, that was the right distance, the right angle. That's pretty fun. Oh boy, that would have been pretty cool to end the year on. Dang it. That when you try to power lower, you tend to just soft it, and like the disc doesn't fly how you want to. I mean, this Halo Aztec is weirdly really stable. But I also threw it too softly to get the flight that it needs, right? So, oh man, I thought that was dropping in. That is annoying. I really thought, gosh, I need to get that more on the pole and not play for that drop. I'm trying to get away from that. Skip ace. Birdie. That's pretty sweet. Oh boy. That was almost a birdie. Okay, level myself. Yeah, level myself here. There we go. Ooh. All right. Well, we kind of got a birdie. Should have just took the the skip shot to begin with. Said heck with it. Hole 14, 330. So very, very similar shot. It's a little steeper of a bank here to try and get it to stick into. If it was a little bit, oh, look at we got a great sky view right now. But you know, if it was a little bit, I could try the skip ace again. This is actually set up for it pretty good. If it was like a little bit softer, although this snow could probably stick pretty good. This angle is kind of weird though. I'm actually gonna go, you know what, actually, I don't know, can't decide. I mean, when you got the ice, you should just play the ice. Let's try the Raptor again here. Oh, it's too high, but that's actually the shot I wanted to. Look at that. Doink. That's kind of what I was trying to do. Yeah, that was not quite the ice skip, but it actually kind of gives us a little bit of a challenging putt here. Let's see. I might have to do kneel in the snow here. Do I need to kneel? No, this is. So if you draw the box, right, I can put my heel in it. So my heel is in the box, I'm behind the disc. It actually moves me out just enough to where I can. Man, this guy is so pretty. Oh, there's a disc out in the. Someone went for the ice skip and didn't get it. Oh, actually, no, that's a putter. Looks like a nomad. Looks like the donut nomad. Someone went for the death putt and did not succeed. But those are two great holes, man. Really, really gotta like trust your control if you want to go for it. Otherwise, you know, you can kind of bail out safe and lay up, take your par. Kind of one of those like, how do you feel? How are you gonna play it? Come up with a plan and stick to it. But we're back across the bridge. Man, we were 0 down over here before we were. Now we're actually kind of rolling again, so not too bad. It wasn't too late. Man, if I would have had a good start, this could have been a pretty epic round. All right, hole 15, 318, kind of out around these trees to the left here. I'm gonna have to back you up here. You kind of got to go hyzer, and I don't know, like, I don't think there's much skip right now, so I think this is fairly safe. At 318 though, I want something, but I'm going to go with that EMAC Truth. It's decently stable, and my perspective here from the tee pad, since I'm up above it, you know, I don't have to put it on pure hyzer. I can put it high, kind of straight out here, and let it kind of slow drift down. This thing is, I think, stable enough that it should have a nice kind of slow drift and give us a putt and keep it safe here. Very slight hyzer, but that's basically right about what I wanted. Slow drift in, minor skip. That should be perfect. Is it just a touch more hyzer than I wanted, but actually it's going to work out really well. Paul. All right, I'm done. Walk all the way down here. What am I bag? My brain. End of the year. Already checking out for New Year's Eve. Let's not check out on this putt though. All right, let's keep going. Oh, this is kind of pretty out here right now. Just a little bit of snow, not really bothering me that much. I slipped a couple times, but not that big of a deal. And the sun is some nice clouds, gonna be a gorgeous sunset. We're gonna finish just in time for it, I think. And then we're off to celebrate New Year's. 16, 195. Another nice little putter throw. You can kind of take a big hyzer, obviously, and kind of take some of the difficulty out of this. Although when you take that big steeper hyzer, you do kind of run the risk of skipping into the water. I'm gonna go straight out the tunnel. We'll go Berg Axe. And we're just gonna fight this little gap. I keep saying tunnels for shots that are just gaps. Alright, very, very slight flex on the Berg X. Should get us right up there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh! I almost spun its way down there a little bit. Yeah, taking the gap hit. I think I'm gonna get consistent at that. It's just a funner play. I think tournament I'd probably just spike like a zone or something. Oh, that's a pretty cool looking shot. Might have to take a still from this. Does that look good? Hope it looks good. That looks good. We be rolling into the sunset. I can't sing with the lick, and I'm sorry I exposed you to that. Alright. That's enough of that. Ooh. 17, 267 is what it looks like. Just a very slight grade right to left, so we gotta be careful. The OBs are pretty far away, so this is pretty straightforward up there. This would be, I think, proxy flip up all day, which should lend itself to the Claymore skip up pretty well. But like again, this is getting into that where we kind of try to hyzer flip, but we go too soft, trying to ease up on it. We won't get the flip up, and then we'll just hold the hyzer and dump out. So that's kind of what I was talking about, is finding the disc sort of speed, which is why I would probably throw a proxy for sure, because at that 267, it's probably going to flip up no matter what. But I could still power this and just go a little bit long. Sometimes I get a little bit caught up in like landing somewhere kind of near the pin or in front of it and scooting up to it. I think I have kind of a default way of doing that. Whereas sometimes I need to remind myself that, hey, I can go 20 feet long and have the same cut. The problem is, if I land 20 feet long and skip another 20 feet, then, you know, then that's not what we're looking at here. Alright, jogger should be fine. Alright, I'm just going to shallow my hyzer just a little bit, because I'm going to ease up on my power here. Oh yeah, not bad. But see, because sometimes like that's in a pretty good distance for like an easy mid. You just got to kind of maybe adjust your angles a little bit and not really depend on the flip up so much, because I'm throwing it at a lighter power, but just kind of give it a little height and a subtle hyzer. Like same thing I would do with an NV for like, you know, a 220 shot if I was throwing an NV. Or even like the Berg for a 170 upshot or something like that, right? So this is just kind of what I've tried to do mostly this year. It's just play as much as I can, get the experience, understand like as much as I possibly can about the angles, learn all the disc throws. That's why I have so many discs and I change my bag so often. Well, yeah, probably made me less consistent this year than I wanted to be. I think in the long run, it's going to make me a better player than just like learning one bag and one type of disc and whatnot. I'd rather be more dimensional. All right, that sun. Let me try to get the sun just out of the shot here. I mean, that was solid. I'll take this all day. Gotta always, one thing I learned this year too is always check your back foot stability. The amount of times I've kind of gone to press, even though you don't think you're putting much power, it'll still slide out, even on a short putt, and completely screw the putt. So it's like you really gotta make sure that back foot is consistent. So, yeah, I don't know what was going on. I mean, I should have warm-up putted. I should have warm-up thrown. I just didn't want to get all my discs wet in the snow, and kind of don't have that much time today. Got places to be for New Year's, but we are kind of rolling here at the end of the. Like I said earlier, I told you, took a little longer, took halfway through the round this time instead of a third of the way, but we definitely got the groove rolling. We made it, hole 18. 210 feet, right up there. Probably should be a Berg X. Honestly, and last hole, let me go with this little beforehand shot at it as well. Here, I'm gonna go with my zone, and this should be a good distance from my forehand. This is also kind of approach distance a lot of time along the holes and stuff. This is good distance to have beforehand. A little porky, but that is pretty solid. Actually, kind of deep. So my forehand's starting to feel better. But it's not so stable. I don't think it's that stable. Oh yeah. Oh, dang. That was more on it than I wanted. Man, at this distance with the flex, I kind of didn't really think about it, but but that last was going to push. I probably should have done the same shot with the bird. That would have been kind of cool if I would have aced it. Zone is being high with the zone. Man. It's not a bad round. Yeah, so not exactly how I wanted in the end of the year, but not bad. Pretty hot there at the end. Pretty happy with that. Hey, if I would have just, like I said, just warmed up a little bit, would have been pretty nice. But I can definitely feel the improvement finally. It took me relaxing a little bit in the off season. Like I said, I've been kind of focusing a little bit more on mobility, my body. I'm going to get myself in. I'm ramping into a more and more aggressive workout program. I'm going to try to get 30, 60, 90 day goals and kind of continually ramp up, let my body adjust to it so I don't hurt myself this time. And kind of, I still want to practice, and man, it's so hard to get myself not to play. Even like this last month or so, I've still been playing a lot, but not as much as I was. I've been giving myself lots of days off, and it's kind of letting myself reset a little bit. And I'm also relaxing a little bit. I think my expectations are a little bit easier. So I think some of the improvements I made during the year, you kind of need to take periods of letting stuff sink in instead of always pushing. Let's see. Well, there is my final round of 2023. Not exactly the round I expected. I really thought I could really kind of tear this place up, especially how I played yesterday. But pretty happy with that back. That went really well. Got warmed up. Again, just gotta remember I'm old and I'm not getting any younger, so gotta warm up. I gotta warm up the putt at least. But pretty happy with that finish. So I'll go into 2024 with a good smile on my face. It's been a great year. I've learned a lot, and I think when it's happened, like I was saying, I think decompressing at the end of the year and at points during the year, I think is important. Giving yourself space and time for the things you're learning, changing things, sink in. I think a lot of that's happened in this last month since I haven't played as much or tried to practice or do as much stuff. So really kind of relaxing and playing really well here to end the year. So I'm pretty excited about going into the next year. Got a lot of things coming, got a big plan, a workout plan, but really thankful for a fantastic year. Played a lot, filmed a lot, got a lot of editing work, got a lot of work on my body to do, but looking forward to it, looking forward to the challenge and get back out there once I'm ready. And man, hope you guys had a great 2023 whenever you're watching this, and I hope you have a fantastic 2024 as well. I'll see you out there on the course. Happy throwing.